Did you know that you could be losing out on hundreds of dollars every year by not filing for your property tax exemptions? Well, if you pay attention to this video, especially if you live in San Antonio and Barrett County, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to know on how to file your property tax exemptions this year. Howdy y'all, this is Michael McCall, real estate agent here in San Antonio with JB Goodwin Realtors. And guys, today we are going to talk a little bit about your property tax exemptions. It is the first of the year, this is 2020. What better way to kick it off than by getting you ready to save your money on your property taxes. Now, one thing that I hear a lot is that people moving to San Antonio and Texas in general are excited that there's no income tax, but bummer, there's a property tax, and that's just as bad, if not worse.
Fake news.
Well, guys, that's not entirely the case. The property taxes have exemptions that every single one of you should be filing, especially if you own your own home. There are several options for you guys, depending on a variety of different factors, and we'll go through each and every one of those. But first, I wanted to remind you guys that, again, I'm a real estate agent here in San Antonio, Texas. And guys, I absolutely love helping y'all out whenever you are moving in and around San Antonio. Whether you're coming from out of state, whether you're moving from across town, somewhere else, and you just need to sell your house, or if you're looking to get in a rental too, I can help you with that also. Guys, if you have any questions at all about moving to San Antonio, I'm the guy that is here to help you, okay? Always reach out to me with any questions. My contact info is always going to be below this video on YouTube, but it is also right here. So if you need anything, don't hesitate to text, call, email, whatever, guys. I'm here to help you. So without further ado, let's get started. There are 4 specific property tax exemptions that I'm going to talk about today. The homestead exemption, the 65 and older exemption, the disabled person exemption, and the disabled veteran exemption. The first is your homestead exemption. So your homestead exemption is the exemption that you're going to file the January 1st that you are living in your house. So for this year, it's 2020. That means if you bought a house in 2019, this is going to be the first year you file for that homestead exemption. And good thing, you don't have to file for it after this year. It should roll over. Just double check, make sure every year nothing gets all funky, but that is what should happen. To file this homestead exemption, it is very simple. It is 100% free. You guys will get something in the mail of people offering a small fee to do the service for you and file it for you. You don't need to do that. Just take this document, and I'm actually going to put a document down below that you use to file the homestead exemption. So all it is, it's a document from the appraisal district. You fill it out. It's a couple pages. Put some information on there, and as long as it is your primary residence, you should get that exemption, no worries. Now, one thing you do want to make sure of is that your driver's license address matches your primary residence so that there's no mistakes made whenever they're going through the paperwork, okay? Now, one great thing about the homestead exemption, it will save you hundreds of dollars on your property taxes. There's that, but it will also help by keeping the appraisal district from being able to raise your property taxes too much every single year. That means they can reappraise your house over a certain percentage higher than what it was before. It just kind of protects you from getting an astronomical increase year over year from your property taxes. The second exemption is the 65 and older exemption. This is for obviously people that are 65 and older. Now, you will qualify the year that you turn 65. So for instance, say that you turn 65 this year in 2020, that means that you can apply this year for the 65 and older exemption. It's as simple as that, and lucky for you, it is actually on the same form as the homestead exemption because it gets added on top of that homestead exemption. So you will get the homestead exemption and the 65 and older exemption. You get both of those. It's double. So all you do is there's one extra box that you check on that form, and that's it. That's all you do. If you're 65 and older and you qualify for that, that's all you have to do. The third one is the disabled person exemption. Now, the kicker with that is you cannot qualify and use the 65 and older exemption and the disabled person exemption. You can only use one or the other, okay? So that is a downside, but you have options. You can look at both those options and see which one is going to be the best bet for you. Now, as far as qualifying for the disabled person exemption, typically if you're receiving benefits from the Social Security for your disability, then you will qualify. Also, if you have been deemed unemployable by your physician and you have that statement, that would qualify for you to get that exemption as well. And again, guys, for both the disabled person and for the 65 and older exemption, those all go on the same homestead exemption form. It's just one form. Now for the disabled veteran exemption, this is all determined from the VA, okay? So the VA is going to give you your disability rating if you are a disabled veteran, anywhere from 10% to 100%. Now, the amount of exemption that you get is going to be dependent on what the VA says, right? So that's not going to be something that you can just look up on the appraisal district and find. You're going to have to go through the VA to determine that. But the good thing is, guys, if you have a 100% disability and from serving our country as a veteran, you actually will qualify for a 100% property tax exemption. So you will not ever pay any property taxes. Now, the other good thing about the disabled veteran exemption, it is not limited to your primary residence. You can actually use that on other properties that you own as well. All right, so let's run through some of the numbers here. So this is the 2019 official tax rates and exemptions for Barrett County. So as you can see, this is the name of each of the taxing entities. Code, doesn't really matter. Tax rate, so this is basically a percentage, guys. So it's out of $100. They do it by dollars, but this is essentially 0.023668%. All right, so just use it as that way just to keep you from getting confused. This column's homestead. This is 65 and older exemption. This is disabled person exemption. Now, disabled veteran exemption is not on here. You'll have to go directly to the VA to get the numbers for that one. Now, this freeze year, don't look at that too much, but essentially what a tax rate freeze is that if you have a 65 and older and disabled exemption, you actually qualify to freeze that tax rate to where it will never increase on you over time. That means that if you go through the process and you get approved, basically your tax value, your taxed amount, so if you're paying $5,000 in taxes this year, if you were to qualify for that tax freeze, you would never pay more than that amount unless you made an improvement to your property. So that's a really, really good benefit. And this freeze year here is just when this taxing entity implemented that law. Now, just for quick examples, we'll just go straight down to the homestead. Your homestead exemption is pretty much going to show up on your school district taxes all the time. And this is because your school taxes are going to be your highest tax value, essentially. So, for instance, we'll look at Harlandale ISD here. This is essentially a 1.5% tax rate. $25,000 on the homestead exemption is going to take $25,000 off of the total value of your property for tax purposes. So at a 1.5% tax rate, that means you're saving $375 with a $25,000 homestead exemption reduction. So it's a great benefit, guys. It can really save you a lot of money. And then if you're 65 and older, you add on to that even more. You know, so, I mean, there's a ton of benefits, as you can see. I mean, you can just see these amounts. I mean, even looking up here, you know, I mean, St. Hedwig, $60,000 for 65 and older exemption. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, Balcones Heights, $65,000, you know, City of San Antonio, $65,000. I mean, look at that. So, I mean, these are huge benefits, guys, especially for, you know, for the 65 and older and disabled. Make sure you are filing for these exemptions when you need to. Guys, I hope you learned a little bit about your tax exemptions for here in Barrett County and San Antonio, Texas. If you're anywhere else in Texas, your tax exemptions should be very similar to this. Just go to your county's appraisal district and look at the specifics, get the specific forms to file for it. And I mean, save you guys some money. Don't forget to do that. This is really important. It's super easy to do. Again, guys, I'm going to have some of the forms down below. Don't forget to hit those, download those so that you don't have to even think about it. Just get it done now while you're thinking about it, while you're watching this video. And again, guys, thank y'all for watching. Again, if y'all need anything at all, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Call, text, email. If you're moving to San Antonio from out of state, in town, in Texas, doesn't matter. You need to sell your house. If you're looking for a new rental, guys, doesn't matter. If you are moving in San Antonio, to San Antonio, from San Antonio, whatever, reach out to me. I will be more than happy to help you as much as I possibly can, and with whatever I possibly can. Answer any of these questions that you got, whatever it is. I'm gonna put my number again right there. That way you guys got it, and reach out to me if you need anything. Again, guys, thank you, and I will see y'all in the next video.